Welcome to Reddit Tea Time. Am I the bonehead? My sister has invited my ex-boyfriend to our mom's funeral and I blew up at her. I'm female 23 and a few weeks ago, my mom, female 48, passed away from a stroke. It's still a massive shock to me. No one expected this to happen. Her funeral is next week. There's going to be quite a few people attending. We're a big family. My sister Danny, female 26, invited my ex-boyfriend Mikey, male 23, to our mom's funeral, and I'm really not okay with this. Mikey and I met at school and were friends since we were 15. We started dating when we were 19 and were together for 1 year. We impulsively moved in together into a home share. It was appealing to me as my family home was incredibly crowded. I have 6 siblings who were all living there. Our relationship went downhill a few months in as Mikey became an addict. I solely paid our rent as Mikey never had any money and would constantly try to steal mine. My only regret was that I hadn't left him sooner. Every single time I'd try, he'd crank up the waterworks and fill my head with promises that he'd go to rehab and be better. When we inevitably got evicted as the house turned into a drug den, something in me kind of snapped and I left Mikey and I went to go stay with a friend. Mikey tried to go back to his parents, but they kicked him out. My mom allowed Mikey to stay with her. He went to rehab and group therapy and got a new job, but after staying with her and taking advantage of her kindness for around a year, he randomly disappeared and had stolen a load of cash from my mom's purse and even one of my younger siblings' piggy banks. Last year, Mikey contacted my mom on Facebook and he sent her a very long essay apologizing for his actions. My mom forgave him but kept him at arm's length. Now that the funeral is arranged, Danny reached out to Mikey and asked him to come to the funeral. She never mentioned this to me until she had already invited him. I haven't seen Mikey in years, and I really don't want him coming to the funeral. Having my ex-boyfriend there is the last thing I need. Danny says it's what our mom would have wanted and that he did live under her roof for a while and was almost like part of the family. I disagree. Family members don't do the kinds of things he did and he doesn't deserve to attend. My other siblings agree with me and don't want Mikey attending. And one of my brothers even suspects Danny has a crush on Mikey because this is really bizarre behavior from her. It's caused a rift between Danny and I as she thinks I'm clinging on to the past. I ended up blowing up at her because she called me bitter and said I need to let the little things go. I called her delusional and said that she's ruining our mom's funeral. Am I really the bonehead? Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. For your sister to try to drag him into this funeral he does not deserve to be a part of under the guise of the past is beyond delusional. Not the bonehead. He definitely should not be at the funeral. He stole from you, your mom, and your siblings. You may want to check if your sister has a thing for your ex. Why else would she immediately think, let's invite the ex to your mom's funeral? Good luck, not the bonehead. She's made grieving more difficult than it needs to be right now. Tell him not to come and move on the best you can. Am I the bonehead for telling my brother he doesn't deserve kids? So, I, 40 male, was having a conversation with my younger brother, 23 male, about growing a family since my fertility struggles is well known in the family. He mentioned that he was trying to have a kid with his new wife, so that's when we started to talk about basic stuff like potential names, etc. My brother, let's call him Ryan, mentioned that he just really hopes it's a boy and not a girl. I asked him why, of course, being curious. Ryan mentioned that girls come with more problems than boys, emotional problems, periods, and teen pregnancy, to name a few problems. Ryan went on to mention that he's not interested in dealing with horny guys trying to bang his daughter, and he just can't see himself having common interests compared to a boy. He also wants to pass on the family name, and a daughter would just take on another man's name. I was first thinking, does his wife know about his thinking? But I instead informed him you can't really control the sex of the baby. I was a little shocked because I never really saw this side of him. Then again, he's 17 years younger, so maybe I didn't see everything since I moved out early. The kicker is that he said he wished he could have an option like I do. Now in IVF, you could have the option for gender if you pay for genetic testing in the US, depending on the clinic. It's not typically used to pick which sex, but to determine the best quality embryo in terms of genetic defects to transfer. So if I have an issue with my sperm quality, the best embryo regardless of sex is typically chosen. I was annoyed and told him he should be fortunate that he doesn't have to go through the debt and pain of infertility, and that if he's so worried about the sex of a potential child, he shouldn't have kids at all. When his wife came in the room and asked what we were talking about, I told her. She was very appalled by what Ryan said and thought it was a bonehead thing to say, considering she's also a woman. He was very offended and felt betrayed that I brought it up in front of his wife and hasn't talked to me since. It's been a week. Am I the bonehead for both telling my brother he should never have kids and telling his wife? I feel like I might have caused friction by bringing it up and should have minded my business. Update. It looks like my sister-in-law decided to hold off on trying for a baby. My family is pretty pissed at me at the moment. They're saying it's that I have a big mouth and should have minded my business. Thanks for the feedback. I guess she should know, but I still feel bad that their relationship might be ruined. Now for some comments. Thank you for defending half of humanity. Your brother is clearly sexist and deserves to be called out on it. I don't think calling him out on it in front of his wife was terrible. Does he hide that aspect of himself when he's with her? Not the bonehead. As a married woman, this is something that I would need to take into consideration before having kids. Would I want kids with a man who would obviously show favoritism to our kids based solely on their gender? She has a right to know before getting pregnant. Sadly sounds like Lil Bro. While expressing wanting a boy isn't wrong, needs to mature some and realize he needs to love whatever gender he gets for kids. Not the bonehead. He does sound a bit immature for kids at the moment. To be honest, I personally think there's nothing wrong with you telling his wife since she walked in and asked what was up. Not going to lie, it's probably better that she knows his views anyway, as daughters with fathers who view them like that can sometimes get mistreated. Not the bonehead. Am I the bonehead for dropping out of my best friend's wedding for inviting the girl my ex cheated on me with? My 21 female best friend invited me, 22 female, to her wedding, and also asked me to be her maid of honor. We'd always been inseparable throughout high school, so I excitedly accepted as they were high school sweethearts, and they'd been planning it for a while. They planned it out, and she knew about the proposal before he did it. We'll call her B. So B had a total of 4 bridesmaids, including me. She created a group chat named Last Name Wedding, which we were all in. A few months after the proposal, B had a falling out with 2 of the bridesmaids, so then it was just me and the other bridesmaid. We all went shopping for our dresses. It made it difficult to find shoes because she wanted either a nude color or black color, but it could not have anything shiny or sparkly. She also said we could not wear any earrings, necklaces, or hair accessories as it would take away from her day, which I understood. I also asked her where to find her gift registry, to which she responded, "Oh, we only want cash so we can move." They still have not moved a year later. Well, B and I had always disliked Ali, we'll call her Ali, because she was a close friend, basically best friend, of ours, before I caught my then boyfriend of 4 years cheating on me with Ali in his bedroom, making out half naked. B knew how badly that situation hurt me, and she always consoled me and comforted me when I got upset about it, and stated how much she disliked Ali after that. Well, come time for the bachelorette party, we were all trying on our dresses, and the other bridesmaid casually asked, "So, who all is going?" To which B responded with several names of the people we went to school with. Then she said, "Oh, and Allie is going too." To which the other bridesmaid responded, "Why is she going?" B looked at her feet looking guilty and said, "Well, she's my friend." My heart instantly sank, as we had agreed not to invite the girls we caught our boyfriends cheating on us with. She had a similar situation happen to her. I tried not to seem hurt, but I ended up leaving quite upset. I then texted her that I was dropping out of the wedding, to which she responded, "Fine, be like that." I texted back, "I thought we agreed not to invite Allie or Candy to our weddings." Candy was the girl B caught cheating with B's boyfriend, and she said I was just being petty. Am I the bonehead? Edit. I forgot to mention I dropped off the bridesmaid's dress at the venue before this falling out, and she let someone else wear it without my knowledge or permission. When I finally drove 30 miles to pick it up from that person, it smelled like BO was stained and was just in general completely ruined. When I confronted B about this, she said, "Well, we had no other choice." Also, for those asking, I am no longer her friend, or anyone's friend in that group. I also asked if Allie was going to bring my ex, to which she replied, "I don't know, maybe." Another edit. I know it sounds like petty high school drama yada yada, and I agree. I've always bitten my tongue when it came to things like this. However, I decided not to this time. And now that you guys said in majority that I'm not the bonehead, I'm so glad I did. Thank you all for your kind words and support. Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. She has had a long time to be open and honest about her friendship with A. Instead, she hid it, and then acted like a victim when she was finally forced to admit her longtime lie or lie by omission. I'm interested in what the other fallings out were because honestly, it sounds like your friends in general are toxic, not the bonehead. B does not sound mature enough to be getting married. It was thoughtful of her to let you know exactly who she is. You can now spend time with better people. OP replied, I had a sneaking suspicion that she just got married to get wedding gifts, money, but I 100% agree, thank you, not the bonehead. Life hack. If the bride has a falling out with 2 of her 4 bridesmaids to the point they drop out of her wedding party, that's probably a red flag to reassess her personality. Am I the bonehead for saying, I don't want kids, I want money at the dinner table and offending my sister? My sister has a 5-month-old baby. Her and her boyfriend are not struggling financially, but their standard of living has very much decreased since giving birth. They can afford the necessities, but they can't go on vacation, can't go out to eat, and can't afford a babysitter. They also just moved into a cheaper apartment. My mom has been asking my sister and the baby to move in with her so they can save money. My sister said no. For more context, my sister's boyfriend makes a little less than minimum wage. He only works part-time at a restaurant to focus on creating his music. When my sister announced they were trying for a baby, my mom was really worried, and she's still worried, about their financial situation. My sister is the primary income source for their household, and my mom has been giving them some money every month. I make a little more than my sister, but I don't have kids. So last night, all of us came together for dinner. My sister kept asking me when I'm going to have kids, and I said I don't plan on having kids. She said I'll change my mind. I'm almost 30. I said I probably won't, and she kept pressing me on why. I finally just said, I don't want kids, I want money, and she got really quiet. When the dinner was over, she left a voicemail from my mom crying about how I attacked her and my mom is mad at me. My mom wants me to apologize to my sister. To be clear, I do think my sister's in a nightmare situation, but I would have said I wanted money even if she didn't have a baby. I've always thought I'm not meant for parenthood, and I'd rather just be the cool, fun aunt that travels a lot and buys big presents for my nieces or nephews. I didn't mean to insult her, and I've never once commented on her financials or relationship because it's not my place. Am I the bonehead and should I apologize? Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. This is one of those things where context matters. If you were sitting at dinner and just randomly blurted out, I don't want kids, I want money, that would be a bonehead thing to say to your sister. But when she starts asking when you're going to have kids, and especially when she refused to drop it, she's asking for a response like this. She asked, you answered. She didn't like your answer. That's on her for pressing you for one in the first place. You didn't attack her, you pissed her off by being honest, and that's not your fault at all. Not the bonehead, and I don't think you owe her an apology, but a conversation is a good idea. It sounds like she's actually pretty upset herself about her finances, and your response touched a nerve. Maybe start with something like, hey, it wasn't my intention to offend you in any way, and I'm honestly confused as to why this upset you so much. I gave you my honest answer after being pressured, and I can't help feeling like maybe this is really about something else. Not the bonehead. Kids are expensive. You stated a fact. I have 2. I'd rather have them than money, but I understand other people have different priorities. But I think your sister's question was obnoxious. It's wrong to ask someone when they're going to have a baby. Some people don't want children. Others struggle with infertility. Some people want to be married first. But the fact is that nothing could be less anyone else's business than another person's family planning. What do you think? Please like and tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because you don't want to miss a single Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. I'll see you soon.